Spring has sprung, if you're that way inclined. If you like those kind of marketing. Oh my God, imagine the marketing that we're going to see this week. Spring has sprung. I'm very much looking forward to seeing all of the trade specials and the mailing and the mailing outs, markouts. Anyway, the stuff from the businesses using Spring has sprung. But I guess if it works, don't change it. So today is the 2-year anniversary of my ownership of Railways Landscape Supplies Proprietary Limited, formerly Railway Sleeper Company. And I just thought, I haven't really got a plan for this, but I just wanted to kind of, I guess, drop some learnings from my acquisition and my time as the owner, and definitely not as the manager, because I'm not running that business, as the owner of another business. And hopefully it will, I guess, maybe benefit someone out there that's looking at having 2 businesses or acquiring a business. And like I said, I have no plan for this, so I hope it connects well. But yeah, 2 years ago, we took over Railways Landscape Supplies, and for that first period, I was there a lot. I think it's really important when you buy another business or acquire a business or open a new location that, well, at least for me, that you are present for a long time. And if it's 90 or 120 days, you're there with some pretty strong regularity, or someone quite senior in your team is there that's from your old team going into your new team, to help set the tone for how things are going to be, and identify bottlenecks, opportunities, things that need to be changed, so that you can, I guess, start collating a list. Because it's not simple. It's not so simple, especially if you're not funded by shareholder, whatever, or you're not Bunnings or you're not Wesfarmers and you just go in and just sprinkle money all over it and hope that it goes away. Like, if you're, you know, a normal, that's a bad word for me. If you're a business owner that's, you know, not well funded, and you kind of, you don't borrow to grow, you just, you know, save to grow, then you will need to take your time and prioritize and do the best you can. And I think we are doing the best we can. At times we're not doing the best we can, because I'm running 3 businesses. And there's a saying, I think Gary Vee might have said it, if you run more than one business, you run no businesses. And I can see that. It's very dangerous to leave to take your attention away from your core income stream. So WaterPro was my core income stream. It's, you know, my most profitable business. It's my most established business. It's the business that funds everything else, that funds the growth that you know, you can borrow against to buy businesses. So it's a very dangerous game to step away and run another business. Now, I partially agree with Gary's sentiment about that, but I also think that if the businesses aren't massive, like, I'm not trying to run Coca-Cola and Qantas at the same time. Like, I'm running Railways, WaterPro and Lawn Hub. I have only 35 staff, thereabouts, and I have, you know, a maximum of an hour drive between any location and my home, and I've got a management structure and a team that are really good at what they do. So I think that I've probably I haven't given Railways enough time in the recent months. I don't know if that is, I think that sometimes that the guys might, I don't know if they not resent it, but they're like, we need him down here to make some decisions. But the reality is, I've got some elite management underneath me that take care of shit, and I don't need to be there. And I think me being there can cause more problems than it's worth. Obviously, when they want me, they've got me. That we've got, you know, chat and direct access, but I don't know that they're that they're asking enough. But I think you can run more than one business if they're not massive, and if you've got a good management team. And I'm thinking a lot more about the level of management below Matt, and how we can ensure that they're empowered and rewarded to do their very best, so that those businesses continue to grow. Obviously, I'm acknowledging that as the businesses get bigger and bigger, my time won't scale, and I need that, you know, I guess, not clones of me, but very, very capable people, more capable than me in management structures underneath me. So yeah, get there early, get there and work hard early, set the tone. It'll help you identify things that you want to, start, stop and change. It'll also help you identify leaders and potential leaders for the business as it grows. Since taking over, we have not fired any existing staff. So the full team that were there, except for Tom, are still there. Tom retired at the ripe, well, I won't say his exact age, but he was in his 8th decade. The man is a legend and a machine, and I know if I rang him right now, he'd come back and he'd be like, yeah, I'm ready, I've kept my truck license. I knew this day would come, but the reality is it's just not safe, and it's sad. But we've kept the entire team and we've grown the team. We've now got, I think, 10. When I took over, there was 6. And we've given those guys a bit more resource, obviously not a dramatic amount. We bought a new loader. I bought 2 trucks. I got them a coffee machine. That's important. And obviously new uniforms and all that. But different software. Like, these guys went through a tornado. Working for me is a tornado at the best of times, but they went through a proper tornado in that first. I think we took over September 1st. And then we implemented Odoo, which is the software platform we use, October 1st. And I remember vividly these guys like, no, let's wait till January. Let's wait. Like, this is not a good idea. Like, we shouldn't be doing this. And we're just like, well, we're doing it, so let's do it. I think it's like pulling off a Band-Aid kind of thing. Like, just do it. you work out your learnings on the way. Why did I change into this lane? So we added more plant and equipment. We've now removed the brick saw, so we identified that. So we've kind of gone through and gone, what's good about the business? What's kind of just kept happening because it's always happened. So you get these like why is that there? And people are like, oh no, it's always been there. It was a bit of that because obviously the guys were a lot of the guys have been there a decade, 2 decades. So we started asking questions. So we cleaned up a bit of that. The brick saw was turning over $2,000 a year or something in brick saw cuts. People, I don't think anyone enjoyed doing it. They got wet. The safety, to get it up to standard from a safety standpoint was nuts. We probably should have had 2 people there, one doing it, one watching. Cost of blades. It was just it was a good service line, but the reality was all of our competitors were selling heaps of pavers and then saying, if you need them cut, we're pretty sure railways have a cutting service and go use them. And yeah, I'm not going to be used like that. So we got rid of that. We had a lot of hire equipment which wasn't being managed very well, and so it's kind of gone. One of the things that helped it go was someone just stole it. So we had 1 or 2 bricks, vibrating plates, I'm pretty sure, just got hired and never came back. And so Luke went to the police because Luke is a vigilant leader, and he went there and he wasn't accepting that they were just gone. And he went to the police and reported it, and the police were like, yeah, all right, sweet, man, details, thanks. He had the guy's phone number, the address, and then it was, from what I can tell, and I wasn't there, but it was very much like, yeah, well, these things happen. It's a brick saw. So we lost our plant, and the hire thing kind of fizzled out. I still like the idea of running a hire business, but my experience has taught me that if you're going to do it, you need to do it properly from the start. So if we were going to have a hire business, it would need to be fully staffed straight away. I'd have a mechanic on staff. I'd have to have a decent mass of equipment, and I'd need to set up the correct documentation to track things from a legal standpoint, a safety standpoint, and a financial protection standpoint. So that's just kind of not there at the moment. We changed a bit. We've changed the stock range a bit. Obviously, the client base that are familiar with WaterPro were not necessarily all familiar with railways. We had some very strong support early from customers that I'm quite close to, and I'm not going to list them off because I'll probably forget one and I'll upset them, but you guys know who you are. And they've basically just said, you've always been good. We will support you, and we will buy whatever we can from you. So to do that, we had to change the range a bit. We've had to add, we've got 2 loams, we've got a top dressing sand that we didn't have before. I think we might have got rid of some stuff that didn't seem necessary. We've added a proper irrigation shop, which was something that was a bit, I guess it was half pregnant. We've added concrete products, and that'll be the next iteration that, you know, we move into that supply better. We just need to get a flatbed truck and a crane or a Manitou so that we can unload mesh. We're doing, like, this is a bit of a tangent, but we're doing a lot of large volume deliveries for Water Pro and now Lawn Hub. You know, so having a flatbed truck in our fleet does make sense to me. We just have to make sure that it's financially sensible, but now that it's in my mind, I imagine in the next 2 or 3 months we'll probably order one. So yeah, there's that. We've knocked down the display and we're building a new display. That's taken a bit longer than it should have, but that's my fault. We when winter hit, we kind of like retracted, and I think this year's been a real challenging year for a lot of reasons. Obviously a wet winter, but having COVID-19, the instability of COVID-19 has, you know, probably made me to be a little bit more protective of spending. So that's happening. That should be ready hopefully by Christmas. I was hoping to have it by kind of September, October. I think September, October last year. I made the guys pull it down, the old display, and then put the new one up. You know, slowly. It's only got the pergola now, but we need to start talking to contractors that want to be involved. And they'll be like, dude, it's finally not raining and you want us to help with the display? You're an idiot. But we've got a very good customer base that are very supportive and very understanding, that I'm very sure will want to get involved. So I probably shouldn't back into there too far because you'll lose my light. Yeah, obviously we don't own the land. I think if I was to buy, I think I need to draw the line in the sand. For me to buy another business now, I want the building as well, and it needs to be in the deal, otherwise I'm not buying it. There we are, put it in the sand. It's just too hard. You kind of move in, like I said at the start of this video, you start to try and make changes, and then you're like, shit, I don't want to, like, look, railways is a great example. I need to spend $500,000 to $700,000 to get that place, probably, I'd say $1 million to get that place mint. Like, nice, you know, large warehouse, fully stocked with irrigation and everything. And it's just, if I do that, I'm doing it on someone else's block of land, and then I'm only safe for the period of the lease. And landowners traditionally aren't going to put a building on there at no charge for me. They don't have any reason to. So either I'm paying for it, or they're paying for it, and then I'm paying it back for it, or they're paying for it, I'm paying it back for it, and then I'm paying additional rent for it. So when I was younger in business, we couldn't afford to buy the buildings. I need to be very thoughtful about that, and if I was to do it again, I would try and negotiate the ownership of the building. And advice to anyone listening, if it's serious, like obviously there's certain things you can't buy, like if you want to open up a cafe or a restaurant in a Westfield, you're not buying the building. But because of the corporate structure, it's different. I think when you're dealing with an owner, operator, landlord, it can be a little bit more, they're a little bit more sensitive, because, you know, Westfield, you're dealing with layers of management, and they've come across so many situations. So for us, I think if we were to buy, and it's very likely that we'll be acquiring irrigation shops in the coming decade, or 2 to 10 years. A lot of those people probably own their buildings and would be looking at it as a retirement plan, for me to pay their rent down, to pay rent to them as an income. That might change things, actually, if they're not looking to do anything else with it. Like if they're retiring, and we can sign a contract where I pay rent for 5 years and then buy it off them on the 6th year or whatever, and that's a solid contract, I might be open to that. That could be a good way to build up cash flow. Actually, that's a good idea. Just spitballing, sorry guys. Obviously 15-minute videos are not for everyone, but I'm just kind of spitting my thoughts out. I haven't done it for a while. Yeah, so I feel like we've got a great team now. We've done a lot of training and development with the team at Railways. We've had some of them come to WaterPro. One of them hasn't been here yet, and I don't even know how we're going to do that, but he needs to get down here and spend some time here, and I feel bad that he just got left behind. But operational requirements for WaterPro and Lawn Hub meant that we just couldn't do it. I don't think that's fair on him, and I want to get him down here. At least he'll get to enjoy better weather and a busier shop. So they're ready to rock and roll. We've got the software, we've got the trucks. I think we might need another truck soon. All the plant and equipment's been serviced. All the clutches have been replaced that needed to be. I cannot believe how many clutches a transport business goes through. It still blows my mind, but not my problem to fix today. And we're ready to go. We've got, we know what we're doing. We've met with our suppliers. We've got good relationships. There's a few relationships that we just haven't got that we would have liked, and we're going to have to work around them. I think that those suppliers that have chosen not to work with us for whatever commercial reasons they've got relationships with existing suppliers or whatever, over the coming years will come to regret that. It's happened before. I remember WaterPro had a pump supplier that wouldn't deal with us because of a phone call from one of our competitors, and then WaterPro got really big, and now we don't sell their pumps. And I mean, I'm sure they don't sit in their offices and cry themselves to lunch, but I think sometimes you need to look at the new jockey on the horse, and if you think that jockey can ride that horse better, it might be worth giving a little bit more attention to the jockey than just saying no because you've been dealing with the other jockey for however long, or they've rang up and organised an exclusive agreement the day that they found out you're your new jockey on the horse. So I'll get more time to kind of spend on that, and I think people will come to realise it was silly. But so we're ready to go. I think we might even need to hire more staff for Railways. We need to get the display finished, and I'm just really focused on having a good season now. The first day of spring is a beautiful day. I think we've got 25 today, 28 tomorrow, and then it's meant to be 10 or something stupid on... Oh, that's right, that'll be right. Yeah, Friday, which is our start of month barbecue. That's something that we've added to Railways. We have a barbecue at the start of month, and now we have 30 or 40 people come through on that day and sit down and enjoy breakfast for free, and it's an opportunity for us to catch up with the customers. And for me, it actually makes me go down there, because I definitely do not attend Railways enough. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple of years. I think it's been taxing more for Matt than me. I think Matt's probably had more contact hours with Railways than I have. It's a long way. It's an hour travel for him and 45 or 50 for me. So it's a drive, but plenty of people drive for their jobs. I think, when we took over, the business was averaging 2.8, 2.9 mil a year. I'm very confident that we'll get it to 5 this financial year, and keep pushing until we get to 7. I think that business at 7 million is a really solid business with the rent, for rent as a percentage of total sales. That's a big one. The rent's big because it's a big block of land, and I think for me, just being blatantly honest, I think if I can get my rent per location under 2% of total turnover, there's more bottom line profit, or the more profit to be redeployed against other businesses. So if we can get that to 7 million, it's a beautiful little business that sits there and just hums along, and creates a good lifestyle for the team there. It supports the landscape industry, because now I have a responsibility to continue to support the market that have come across to follow me. I acknowledge that they don't have to buy from me, and by buying from me, they kind of alienate themselves from other suppliers a little bit, because for some reason not a lot of other suppliers like me, and they haven't even met me. But I need to continue being there to support them, and we'll just keep sharpening that stone to the point where it becomes pointed and very sharp, and that these guys have got an elite supply arrangement from us, and that it's not something that they think about anymore. I'll close on that. This is a very long video. I just felt like I needed to, do a bit of a download against what it's been like for 2 years. But yeah, all in all, I think it's been good. It's been profitable, and I think there's a lot that I'd do differently if we did it again. and I've learned from it, and that was really one of the key reasons for doing it, was the ability to go through the process and learn about it. I do that a lot, although that's a separate video. And then I probably give myself, I don't know, a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. I'd say a 6 out of 10 for my involvement, and you know, my team and the team at Railways, I think are more in the 9s. I can't give them a 10, but they've done really, really well. Working under me can be very challenging, and we joke about the fact that once you've worked for me for an extended period of time, you're broken to a point where you couldn't work anywhere else. And yeah, I think it's cool. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy spring and enjoy summer. Be kind to each other, and I'll talk to you soon.